Right, so welcome back to Adventure 82. This may well be one of the last videos in Kent. I think there might be maybe one more after this, which will be the camping video. But today anyway, we are at RAF Manston, which used to be a World War II airfield. It's not now, but it is a museum to the RAF. And ironically, it's just off a road called Spitfire Way, which is quite cool. You can see the old air control tower here behind me. Just to my left, there is the old radars that are no longer in use. And you've got the cafe and the museum over on this side on the right, which is what we're going to go see. I have no idea if you're allowed to go up and look at that. I haven't got a clue. I'll have to find out whilst I'm in the museum. If we can, we will. Otherwise, let's get started. Right, so you've only just got here. Erica's already looking at the cafe stuff. Right, this is going to be interesting because the sun's behind me. And, yeah, that always ruins the shot. But look, there's an old bus. Old Royal Navy bus. Oh, isn't it? Look, it's been converted into a camper. That's quite cool. That's pretty awesome, actually. Oh, look. Look. So maybe at some time it was a shop, or maybe it's a portable shop. I think that's quite cool though. That's definitely quite cool. So the main museum's here. You can see some of the planes they've got from here. You can see here actually, I'll show you from a post up here. This is the car park we drove into. You can see where this used to be the runway, and they went straight off up that way. But of course now you've got a road going through it, so that's not happening anymore. But this was one massive site back in the day, RAF Manston. Yes, all set up like you would have seen quite often in London. That's quite cool. Wow. They still do find unexploded bombs and ordnance all around the coast here. In fact, even over in the Channel Islands, they still find unexploded ordnance all the time. But it's often it's used for a display piece. That's quite a cool, quite prominent thing. I think that's quite awesome. This display over here in the garden is quite nice. We'll have to have a close look at that when we get in. But right, just going through here. Look at all these old pictures. F-20. They've got Lancaster bombers. They've got I've got some of the US planes that are over here during World War II. I'm not a big plane aficionado, so I don't claim to know a lot about this. So please don't tell me off if I miss some kind of thing that to a massive plane enthusiast is really obvious, but these are so cool. You don't have to be a plane enthusiast to necessarily appreciate this. One thing I am a bit miffed about is I have a model railway here. Like that. And it works, but you need to put 20p in. I don't have any blooming coins, but the actual site had its own railway as well to haul things around, so that's what this is. It's a model of that exact. Look how long those platforms are. You've got the little Spitfires and such. Well, those are biplanes, they're not Spitfires. So you've got an old European plane picture there. Got the iconic Concorde there. I don't know anything about helicopters, apart from that's quite cool, and I know that's basically the same kind of plane they use for air rescue. That's RAF rescue. Someone's done a proper model here and God knows how many hours has gone into this, of the airfield, as you look at it. So this bit of runway here that they're sat on here, this is like where the car park would be now, and that's the bit of runway that goes now across the road that's there. And then you've got, I think this is the hangar that the museum's now in, and you can see all the planes and such going on around it. Although I'm a bit concerned that the first aiders have lost their wheels there. But there's so many. It's just like so many different planes. There's Red Arrows, which is obviously a BAE Hawk. You've got fighter planes. But of course you've got the there we go, close look there, you've got the Harrier there, which was, as far as I'm aware, it's still the only plane that is able to hover. It's got jets, and the jets can actually angle downwards like this, so it can hover as well as fly. So it's the only plane that could do vertical takeoff. We've got some old school biplane models here as well, which are really, really awesome. There is one thing though I didn't expect amongst all this memorabilia and this massively intricate painting we've got there, and that's this, which I might dig a bit more into. But somebody here has gone to the effort of actually looking up by the air raids in Jersey and over the Channel Islands. Now, for those of you who are aware, obviously I moved to the UK from Jersey last year, as I'm speaking, which is because this year's 2025, moved over 2024, and there's not really much mention of the Channel Islands over here. But I suppose being this far south makes a difference. But you can see, look, the picture there of the Guernsey Underground Hospital. That's just outside what was then Lloyd's Bank, that's also Guernsey. And there's a picture there of the Guernsey Airport building flying the German flag. There's a 50th anniversary German stamp thing there from Guernsey as well. That's pretty awesome. Look at all this. Spitfire inspection manual. That's quite cool. I wonder what that says inside. You were detailed as PK Guard Commander last Saturday on the 26th, 1944, but you failed to report for duty. Under the circumstances, you are now ordered to report to PK Guard Commander duty at Stillness Road Schools, SEA 4, at 2000 hours on Friday, September 1st, 1944. Wow, and it's even a clothing book, equipment training, supplementary clothing. It's all here. Look at that. That's cool. Oh, nice. There we go. Look, because there was a temporary one and there was a permanent one. Construction of the permanent or new camp in 1917. The new camp was part of the RICPA project. The main part of the contract was the building of a massive dock and port facility at nearby Sandwich. Even so, the size and speed with which the new camp was built would still amaze today's builders. The underground hangar sites were sold in the 1920s and never saw military service. Right, so just admiring all these model aeroplanes here. And I thought I could just point it out. There's the model of Jersey Airlines. That'll bring back a lot of memories to people who've watched this from the island of Jersey. We've also got a Flybe. That started off as was originally British European, and then before that it was Jersey European, and before it was Jersey European, it was Jersey Airlines. So they all became one. And then of course, well, we know the financial struggles that Flybe had towards the end, unfortunately. What I've learnt something new though is that this so RAF Manston from 1935 till the present day, actually has a civil aviation history as well. So air crews, this was the first company to be formed by Wing Commander Hugh Cannard and the former World War II Hurricane pilot. Air crews operated from nearby Limpine Airport on the ad hoc passenger work. Hugh Cannard had also taken the lease on Ramsgate Airport, so he was quite into his airplanes. Most well-known one is Invicta Airways, which they have a picture of here, who carried the White Horse of Kent as their logo. And it's got here, after his departure from Air Ferry, Hugh Cannard prepared to form another airline. This was to be called Invicta Airways, with the White Horse of Kent as logo. So, a lot of history here. In its first year of operation, the airline was using 2 Vickers Vikings, possibly purchased from Air Ferry, and 2 Douglas DC-4s. At the end of 1968, Invicta Airways was merged with British Midland. I remember British Midland. British Midland used to they used to run planes from Jersey to the mainland back in the 80s when I was a kid. You can see how this is modernised over time. So you've got like the early planes there, which are quite small. Then it evolves into a Invicta International. And I've got a full-scale model of it there, so you can see what it looks like in colour. But the amount of aviation history here is insane. They've even got an old Invicta International. In case you're wondering what that is, they keep saying it sounds like a CB radio. There must be radio communication with each other at some point, and it's coming out of this speaker here. So if there are any interruptions whilst I'm talking to you, I apologise. This is something I've seen before too. Look, they've actually got the different tail wings. What's this? This is the upstairs where 1940s house being close to the airfield. Some of the spare bedrooms are being used to house servicemen. The boy in the back bedroom is getting ready to be evacuated to another part of the country for his own safety. So this is the start of World War II. Look at this. It's haunting to think the kind of feelings that must have been going through people's minds back then. I mean, I know that, like, I would imagine most people would be terrified. I probably would be, because you don't know what's going to happen, do you? So they've put the tape on the windows. That was a classic thing to do in case the glass shattered. It's supposed to help keep the glass together. Didn't always work though.
It's a specific tape.
Here.
Did you know that? I didn't know that.
No, okay, it's a specific tape. Why, what's it called?
It's called blast tape.
Blast tape, there we go. It still didn't always work though, but it was better than nothing. You can see the serviceman that they're housing there. His uniform. His typewriter. Yes. So much. Ooh, the classic siren sound. If you can hear that. Look at these. Well, I said no more museum stuff. And everybody goes on about the RAF soldiers and the pilots, and they were very important to the situation. However, I think it's important to acknowledge all the ladies that were also involved in the RAF. A lot of these people, pioneers, because they were doing something that really most people said women were meant to be doing back then. But right down this way, and for the first time ever, I'm going to say, to the planes! Look at this, this is actually quite funny. So this is the last crash to have happened at RAF Manston. It was in 1985, 28th of August it says there. If you want to read that, pause it. But what I find quite funny is the caption above. It's got, the picture shows the pilot doing the second thing you do after crashing a very expensive aircraft. Get on your mobile phone to the owner. That must have been one of the most difficult conversations to have. Excuse me, I've crashed your Spitfire. There's no way that's going to go well, is it? Wow, look at this. This is awesome. Right, I don't know how well, because you're already aware I buggered up my microphone thing, and that's the wire behind. But this is awesome. Look at it. It's insane. The amount of effort they must have put into this. Not even the little gun post. Technically, I imagine that perhaps should be a pillbox.
It was in 1939 and I was only 14 when old Chamberlain tells us we're at war. This country is at war. Oh, didn't come as no surprise. They gave us a shelter about 6 months before, and youngsters, Jack and May, were evacuated off to the country, having a high old time down there away from Mum's right hand.
Well, now, children, come on, give them a song as you go. What about giving them the Lambert Walk? Come on.
There we all was, all geared up, stirrup pump in one hand, gas masks in the other, and nothing happened. Then they brought rationing in, and most people got called up, but Dad kept working at Beckton, but they needed him there, and each night he was out on ARP duty. Well, it must have been, let's say about July, when Hitler started dropping the bombs. About September 1940, when it started down here. Bombs on Beckton. Oh. I never knew if I'd see my dad again. I remember when the King and Queen come to take a butcher's. She's lovely. She made us feel all important, all the soccer and hardship and all of that. Night after night it went on. Till our boys got Jerry on the run.
Yes, I've got a torpedo here. Okay, so I'm getting confused. So this is a Bangalore torpedo. This down here is a Rapier anti-aircraft guided missile from 1971, and apparently they're still in use until 2020. So there you go. We've got what was found. Pardon me, froggy throat. It was just found, and they believe this is from a plane that went down in Battle of Britain. A Junkers Ju-88A. They're not sure exactly which plane it's from, but that shows you the location here on a map where it was found, on the edge of Goodwin Sands near Ramsgate. Right, so red circles is pillboxes, triangles is gun emplacements, squares coastal batteries, star is petroleum warfare sites, and the yellow triangles are permanent anti-aircraft sites. And you can see Kent's littered with them. So let's see if I can find where we are. Where are we on this? Oh, they very nicely put their sticker on it. Look, we're here. So around us here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pillboxes on 4. Well, there was 4 gun placements. That'll be because you're so close to the airfield. We've got another one here. This one I believe is called a Blackburn Buccaneer, if I remember correctly. But I think it's quite cool. You can see the inside of this one. Look at all the controls. It's got the ejector seats. So unbelievably intricate. I've not seen anything like this before. This is pretty cool, I have to be honest. So many buttons. How do they remember what they all do? Look. Look, the lever, and I believe there's pedals in there as well. So many controls. I'm sure once you're taught, it's probably, you know, once you get used to it, the same as driving a car, you just know. But so many different buttons, levers, I can't imagine how difficult it must be to at least try and pick it up. It's unbelievably intricate kind of thing, and it's a kind of life or death thing as well, because if anything goes wrong when you're in the air,
shortly after, I was called into the company office and there was a major there, and he said, I understand that you are leaving the army.
right, so look at this monster. So this is an RAF rescue plane, helicopter, what a plonker. A massive winch, look at that. So here, 2 rear crew normally flown for search and rescue missions. The winch operator controlled the winching and talked to the handling pilot into flying the Wessex, okay, so this is called a Wessex helicopter, into the correct position. The winchman would descend the wire, giving hand signals to the winch operator to apply first aid and then recover the survivors. Look at this. Wow. You can't see the cockpit, unfortunately, but look. It's kind of one of those things, it's really interesting to see what's inside, but you hope you never need one. Look at all the wiring. Wow. And there's a site up there by the looks of it. That's mental. As you can tell by the road traffic, we're now outside. This is the little outside section we have. So we've got... See, I'm going to have to be a complete novice. I feel like I'm not doing you guys enough justice, you guys who actually like these planes. So I apologise. I'm going to have to look at the name post. So this one is a Jet Provost T4, which actually is an impressive looking little plane. Not as little, however, as this tiny little thing, which I'm guessing is what I would class as a pocket rocket when it comes to planes. And this one's the PZLT S11 ISKRA. I'm short-sighted, which is why I'm not reading the signs to you, because I can't see the writing. And this one's actually still got this little like step ramp going up to it. Oh, I've seen models of these with the evil smiling eyes on the side. I think I had one actually as a kid. I think I remember having one of these as a toy. I think I got it as like a little like model toy with some missiles that locked underneath from what was then called the Jersey Underground Hospital. But Eric has just been having a look at this tornado for you, so there'll be some B-roll of that at some point. And then we've got an underwater, what looks like anyway, an underwater torpedo? Is it an underwater torpedo? It looks like an underwater torpedo. It looks like something coming out of a submarine. You can see here, they say, you know, it's been disarmed because all the army mechanism's been disengaged. So that's why that's covered over. We don't want it on. But yeah, see, look, it's a Mark 8 torpedo, and it was designed around 1925 and entered service in the Royal Navy in 1827. And of course it never blew anything up, because otherwise it wouldn't be here. But I've been told the best plane is actually around the corner. So we go see if they're telling me the truth. Right, so I'm around the corner, and the first thing that's greeted me is this massive tank of a plane. I have no idea what this plane is. There's no name thing for it, no name plaque or anything. So if you know what it is, please tell me in the comments, because I ain't got a bloody clue. Also, we've got a tank over here, but for some reason the front side is covered with some tarpaulin, so I don't know whether maybe they're doing some work to it at the moment. It's a mini tank.
Scorpion.
It's a mini tank. And it is a mini tank. So what year is that from then?
1973.
So that's from 1973.
It was phased out in 94.
I'm not surprised, in fairness, because like modern day tanks are much bigger than that. The only reason I know the modern day tanks are bigger than that is I've seen them parked up at Catterick Garrison. They're huge, massive things. So, what do we have over here? I didn't realise, by the way, you could fold the wings up on these planes. Did you know that?
No, they're broken. They're trying to fix it.
Okay, so Save Our Buccaneer. What's this?
They're trying to do it up.
Right.
They're trying to get donations so they can get it all working again.
Okay, so right, so there's two planes here. This one's called a Buccaneer, and there's another one over here that is called a Jaguar. Now I've heard of the Jaguar. See, I do know something. But these two are sat here at the moment looking a bit forlorn, a bit sorry for themselves. And the reason for that is they're wanting to restore them, but they're waiting for the funding. So if you want to help and donate some money to help repair these planes, there is actually on the one for the Buccaneer, there is actually a QR code which I'll show you, and then I don't know if it'll work, but hopefully if you want to, you can scan it. There you go. They're on GoFundMe though, so you should be able to find them. There's one for the Buccaneer and there's a separate one for the Jaguar. They're stunning planes though, so it should be a shame if they don't get fixed up. I shall have a look at that myself when I get back to the hotel room. And then I'll probably get told off by Erica for spending money that she says we don't have. You can see through the gate as well over here behind Erica another bit of abandoned airfield, and looks like almost a section of maybe used to be train platform, bearing the area had its own railway, the whole military complex did. You can see how long it's been since any of that has been touched. It's been decades. So, what's the next thing?
I don't know, there's a shed thing over there.
A shed. She calls this a shed.
It's a little big shed.
Wouldn't it be kind of like a mini hangar?
I don't know. It's wooden. Can't be a hangar. They're metal.
You do know original aeroplane hangars were actually made of wood.
But they're not now, are they?
You can't, that's ridiculous. They're saying the Wright brothers plane isn't a plane because it was made of wood.
No, it was. It worked very well, but it
No,
was.
the original planes were made of wood. They found out wood wasn't the best thing, so they changed to metal. But the point is, it doesn't stop it from being a plane because it was made of wood. That doesn't stop being a hangar because it's made of wood. See, she's so indignant.
That's quite funny.
The mystery's solved. It's a hangar. They've made it to look like the Thunderbird 2 hangar. Hence the shape and the colour. So we're going into the Thunderbird 2 hangar. I have no idea what's in here. What have they got inside Thunderbird 2? A massive jet engine. Wow. Right. So this is basically a history of jet engines. Look! So many, like little mini ones to this massive ham hawk of a beast. And you've got a Rolls Royce one here as well. It's so intricate, look at them.
I'm Jake O'Neill, creator of RAFs, and this is how jet engines work. Most jet-propelled airplanes use a turbofan design. The turbofan can be thought of.
Right, so definitely the cafe now. I'll just take a minute to acknowledge how funny it is. Erica's walking around like this, blowing my dead GoPro battery.
It's hot. He wants me to put this in my jean pocket. It will burn my leg off. Well, not off, but it will hurt. It's hot. Look, it's a battery. It'll go.
It will not explode. She's saying it will explode.
It's too hot, it's the battery. It'll go...
I'm pretty sure GoPro aren't allowed to make explosive batteries. Having said that, do you remember when we were down the train thing? You know the explosive atmosphere?
Yeah. See?
Right, so that's it from this video from Adventure 82. I'm not sure if it's 1 or 2 parts, but whichever amount it is. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm sorry I don't know more about planes and the RAF. Maybe it's just something I should do or look into. I'm just opposite the Spitfire Hurricane Memorial Museum, which is just opposite the Manston Museum. It's free to enter, so if you want to go and have a look around, which I have, then go obviously have a look. There's a full-size real Spitfire inside to have a look at. There's a simulator in there as well where you can book to fly like a simulation of a real Spitfire if you're interested in that. But there wasn't much in there that wasn't kind of in the other one. I didn't want to overload you with too much of the same. So if you enjoyed this video, thank you very much for hanging around for this long, because I'm pretty sure it's longer than I anticipated. Most of my videos normally are. And I will see you probably, if I put these out in order, which I don't know if I will, probably camping. If not, then you probably just see me camping and now you're seeing me here. Either way, it makes no difference. I'll see you next time. The rest of your week, obviously enjoy it, have a lovely week, whatever it is you get up to, and I will see you next week with something. Who knows? Bye.